Okay, I'm coming up on a kind of a deadline where I'm going to put something online. But I got these thoughts, so let me do two things at once, multitask. I've said before that one of my first memories in life was this kid. He was terrorizing my older sister. I was 4 years older than him, 4 or 3 around there, probably 4. And so this is the first time I was ever in any kind of a confrontation with another kid. And I stood up to this kid. I said, "Stop bothering my sister." I was 4 years old, right? Well, this kid lunged. He was older and bigger than I was, but not that much. But he was older. And he lunged at me and started to choke me around the neck. And he was really choking me. Well, I got him off, but it was not a nice experience. He was actually choking me. So later that day, America's Man of the Year came home from work. I guess we were moving, so I must have been 4. We were going to move from where we lived in Northwest Washington, D.C., near the intersection of Military Road and Georgia Avenue. And, I told him that I was defending my sister, just as I just said. This kid started to choke me. So I realized now for the first time why he took my side, because he didn't like me at all, right? Suddenly the idea comes to my head, hey, he did this for me because I was defending his child, my older sister. It just occurred to me. I was thinking, why did he take me? He didn't like me. Why did he do this for me? So he went, he said, okay, who was the kid, And I pointed him out, and he scolded that kid. Now, apparently the kid's mother was somewhere nearby where she was seeing that or whatever. And later, I think it might have been the same day or another day, she called me aside. She had me go into her apartment with her. She sat me down, and she said, okay, wait a second. And she went and got this, like a shoebox. Hold on a second. Okay, so in this shoebox were things of that son's. Okay? And she said, now, whatever you want. So I saw this hat, gray, like, baseball cap. And I immediately was like, can I have that? It was like on top. She said, yes, she gave me that hat. I still have it to this day. I turned it into a kippa. Within the past couple of years, I took the brim off, and it's now a gray kippa. I believe it's in my drawer. I wonder if I should go looking for it. Oh, why not? Let me put this on pause. I can't seem to get the thing to go on pause, so come over here. I may have packed it, because I got a lot of stuff packed to leave the United States clothes on my back, so I probably packed that. That's why it's going to be here. Yeah, I guess I did pack that. So I could hunt up the brim, because that's among other things. No, I'm not going to do that. So it just occurred to me tonight. Okay. Ever since that, I've kept things in a little shoebox. Precious things in mine. Here's money in my closet. See the shoebox? never put that cap on. Never. And it fits like this cap. So it was, I guess, an adult's cap. I never tried it on in all those years until like the past couple of years, but I said, hey, I could make these into a kipper, so I took the brim off and I put it on and it fits. Okay, now, it just occurred to me tonight, a few minutes ago, that, well, let me first say that the neighborhood we lived in, as I learned later through research online, this neighborhood was a German-Jewish neighborhood. And when I read that online, it made sense because some of our neighbors had been in Auschwitz concentration camp. My mother tells me. She was friends with these survivors of that camp. They had tattoos on their arms. They had a little baby infant. And when I was an infant as well, my mother tells me a story where she took me and put me in the crib with that Jewish baby, and the two babies, me and her, we were kissing. Now, and there were other Jews in the neighborhood as well. So it made sense that it was a Jewish neighborhood. Now, I did decide that lady who had me pick something out of that box had to have been Jewish. That is the kind of thing that a Jew would do to atone for a wrong. Since Jews are supposed to atone with the people they've wronged in person, it's not like you go to a confessional and say you did something wrong. No, if you did do something wrong to somebody, you got to go to that person and apologize, make things right. So that's what that woman did. So I said, this woman had to have been Jewish, and here's something more. Well, it suddenly occurred to me, what was the Ark of the Covenant? They carried the covenant, what was that? The agreement between man and God, right? Which are the Holy Scriptures, the Torah scrolls. That's what they were carried in the Ark, which was like a big chest, decorated with gold and all. Precious thing in jewelry way back when, and it was like a big chest, right, for carrying sacred scriptures. And what is this little box but like a small chest? Okay, for carrying precious items that are even symbolic of a person's soul, right? Those precious things are yours, you're going to keep in a little box. It's like your little ark there. And so, once again, this little shoebox is like a vestige of a Jewish ancestry. Now, this woman may have been Jewish. I wouldn't know. She wasn't like somebody who